G'day guys, welcome back to the Aussie Gooner channel and welcome back to another yarn. A bit of a chit chat about this and that with some co-hosts, as you can see. Some new people in the building as well. I mean, in this one, we're going to be talking about the friggin' season that was, the seasons that could be, the players that have been signed, the players that we should sign. Fuck, we want to talk about a whole bunch of shit. But right now, before we get into that, whole bunch of boxes, whole bunch of co-hosts. And you know what? We got to do ladies first, making her debut, gracing us with her presence. Gracie, welcome to the channel.
Yeah, thanks for having me. No, it's been a long time coming. I think we've spoken on numerous occasions on different channels, so it's good to finally find a time where we're all available to get together and try to figure out what's going on.
Oh, God help us, try and figure it out. If all four of us could figure this one out, oh my God, we've got to get on the books. We've got to get on the books. Seriously, Arsenal need us. From my neck of the woods, from the IFT pod, I've got Scott Borg here. This guy ain't no lightweight. You got to watch out for him, eh? His smile is all nice. He looks all innocent, but you don't go toe-to-toe with this bloke. You see what he's doing? He's got that smile. I'm a nice guy. Bullshit. Scotty, welcome back, mate.
Mate, always a pleasure. Always a pleasure. Always nice to talk Arsenal with you, man.
Cheers, mate.
Talk about
fucking plenty, eh? Yeah. Not signings, just Arsenal. Last but never least, I've got the beast, the KO King, Kenny Ken in the building. My friend, how are you, mate?
Yeah, I've got over our position. I've kind of come to terms with it. I know I should be used to it after the last time we got in the Champions League, which was about five years ago. It's probably going to come to 6 years as well. Probably ain't counting, but when we got so close, I think this one's more disappointing than 2019 because at least I had the Europa League to look forward to. This was like a massive opportunity, so I'm completely, utterly disappointed.
And that was like to be honest, I can't agree with you more. Like for me, like one of the things I was thinking, like this season is it's come, it's gone, it's done, it's dusted, and we're all fucking down now because it's just. I think it didn't meet my expectations. I don't know about you guys. To be perfectly honest. I mean, be honest, like, did this season meet anyone's expectations? Seriously?
Yes. No, it did. I said from the beginning, we're not getting top four. We're not. Because at the end of the day, having a young team is all well and good. But if they haven't got that fighting experience of trying to get to that position, they're not going to know what they need to do. We have no leadership team. We have a leadership team. We have no captain to spur them on. It's a free-for-all.
Look, you know what? That's facts because at the start of the season, even I said that we're a top 6 team. And anything above that we'd be overachieving. I'm not happy to say that, but I said it because it's true.
Yeah, but you know what? No one expected. Like I tipped that we'd finish 5th on our podcast, and
did you put money on that?
I'm disappointed that I was right. Yeah, no, I tipped 5th. That's what I tipped in our start of the season preview show. But when you look at some of the other teams, United were garbage. No one was expecting that. A lot of people thought for Ronaldo back they'd be competing. They were garbage. So that was one competitor removed. Spurs for half the season were garbage, sacked a coach. So there's another team that you're thinking, great, we don't have to worry about those two.
Leicester as well.
Spurs bring in an elite manager. They become a problem. Kane starts scoring. And the rest is history. Like I was so upset. At the start of the season, I would have been content, not happy, but content with 5th. But now, like with how it all played out and how we completely stuffed it up, spewing.
No, so I'm of the same opinion as everyone else. I didn't have any expectations because I was still sore about how we finished the last season. Losing Villarreal in the semi-finals. Also, the fact that we finished 8th again, and then we broke a lot of records, which I don't think any Arsenal fan really wants to memorise or even think about because, last season, whatever we say, lockdown or not, it was horrendous. So I had no hopes going into the season. However, one thing I was told, you watch us go next season because we only got one game a week. Remember Leicester when they won the league had one game a week. I never brought that into that because, as far as I'm concerned, all bets are off with Mikel Arteta. I don't rate him as a manager, and I have no favour in whatsoever. But I did hold hope when people mentioned, once a week. And let's face it, I know there's a school of thought that said at the time, after the 3 losses, I'll take 5th right now. And I do get that. But you can't rewrite history. You can't put the genie back in the bottle to the extent that we went on a run after we lost against Man City. And, our next loss was, a couple of months later against Liverpool. Then we had a blip at United who, let's face it, they were going to beat us, man. They had a new interim coach, first game at Old Trafford, and plus Ronaldo and Fernandes were trying. So, of course, it was going to be difficult for us. Everton was just one of the games where if we analysed it for 2 or 3 hours, we probably wouldn't come to the conclusion of why we lost that game. But it's one of those things where we went on runs. And I think that's why I've become disappointed, because in the sort of give me games, big games, 6-pointers, where managers show their worth, their salt, this is where the manager failed. He made a lot of basic errors, which, really can't be forgiven, really, because, I know we have an expression in England, I'm sure you have that in Oz as well. He had an open goal. I mean, the back door was left open by Man United to the extent that they don't just left the back door open, they left the windows open. The Spurs left everything open. I mean, even the bedrooms with locks were left open by Tottenham, and we still couldn't capitalise. And that's something that I can't forget or, forgive. No,
look, I can't agree with you more. I can't agree with that more, because, to be honest, it was literally an up and down season. Like this, as an engineer, it's like and this is stupid. It was like a sine wave, constantly up and down, and it was stupid. Like some of the points that we were dropping was like, are we seriously dropping points against Everton? Do you know what I mean? Everton, a team that was friggin' here, there, everywhere, missing players left, right, and centre. We made them look like Real Madrid. Do you know what I mean? And for me, I just couldn't see the strength in this team. I was never. Everyone was like, even when it came down to you guys have got top 4, it's in the bag, and I'm like, nah, because I couldn't see the strong foundation that I've seen in Arsenal teams previous. And when I mean previous, I mean we got to go trekking back to like 2005 and 6 and 2000. I haven't seen that for donkeys. And to be honest, like I was looking at this season that's gone to shit, and like who's to blame? Like, some people will say manager. Some people will say, the fans dropping their standards. Others will say owners. Some will say board. I say, fuck, everyone's got a hand in this one. I mean, the fans dead last, but for me, it's owners number 1 for hiring a guy that hasn't got the credentials. Correct me if I'm wrong. Board number 2, because they wouldn't know football if it came and kicked them in the head. Lastly of all, the manager. And then the fans for fucking buying into it. I don't know. That's me.
Don't forget Edu for the calamity in January. January was mate, it was suicidal what we did in January. Yeah. We killed our own chances. If we were dead set serious and we'd gone and locked down Bruno Guimaraes, who was awesome for Newcastle, if he'd been in our midfield, we're playing Champions League football. Don't even worry about the striker at this point. If we'd sign him, because there was a period where we had no central midfielders. We were trying to play Emile Smith-Rowe and Ødegaard back deeper. We signed Bruno. We're in the Champions League next season, and no one can convince me of otherwise. No one.
No. January was literally the worst possible situation we could have put ourselves in. We let a striker go, knowing full well that our other striker wasn't up to the task.
Oh, the 2 strikers, I'm sorry. 2 strikers. 2. Put them together.
It's ridiculous. And I have never seen in my life, not that I can remember, our strikers that play week in, week out score that little goals. I'm used to seeing, them even being at least on the leaderboard for top goal scorers. We weren't anywhere to be seen. We're in the bottom half of the pack, the very bottom. For a striker to score 4 goals and then possibly defenders scoring more than your strikers,
5.
is not the way it should work. It's not the way it should work. We literally let go a striker, and yes, there was massive issues, and it could have been affecting the dressing room. We'll never know. But at the end of the day, you have to figure out a solution until you can get a replacement.
Facts.
Because we shot ourselves in the foot.
Facts.
Yeah, see, I'll take up Gracie's point as well. Is that obviously you've got to go back to the manager because Gracie and Scott made some points. Is that about January, and let's not, a lot of Arsenal fans, they never like to address the factual information in front of them. That there is a transfer committee, and on that transfer committee is Mikel Arteta himself, and also Per Mertesacker, Edu, Vinoy, alongside Josh. So the thing about it is that why is Per Mertesacker getting a free ride here? He's part of the transfer committee. I'm not saying that he makes the own decision, but where was his input? Because first, that's neglectful. Mikel Arteta is the alpha and omega. They give, a lot of people seem to forget that he's been named a team manager. He's not a head coach; he's a team manager, which means back in the day, and it hasn't changed. You're the manager. You are controlling the whole aspect of the club, and that's sort of just like the first team. You also have a hand in the reserves and or what they call the under 23s now, and the youth, because you want to hold all the Arsenal teams to play the same way. But if you're the team manager, you also have an input on the transfer committee as well. You say, right, I want this player and that player. No, I'm vetoing you on this. This is not going to help me out. And there was the only activity we surmised from Mikel was that he was in the
America.
United States. Yeah. America. Now, I can only assume that he was finalising his contract rather than trying to finalise players for us. That, again, that's open to debate, but evidence is in black and white that as soon as we mathematically qualified for the Europa League, his contract was announced. So that shows, everyone what we're about this season, that his, how do I say, objectives or in-tray was get us back into Europe, which was, again, defeats the purpose. Because the problem we're going to get is that we're going to be sold a dud, because we're going to move on to this pretty later on in the show. But you think about it, Arsenal fans have to be alarmed with the sort of contract offers to El Neni and Nketiah. They have to be alarmed that we're holding still at the club. And they have, when you hear about the players we're going to sign, all I'm going to hear, and it won't be the club doing it, because there's loads of spokesmen for the football club in terms of podcasters and journalists who would say, we haven't got the money. We haven't been in the Champions League, and we can't offer players these amount of wages. So, this is the squad we've got to get, and we just have to keep on hoping we can get in the Champions League. There's going to be an excuses as long as not even my arm, as long as probably the Eiffel Tower. I'm seeing it now. If you fast forward to the 1st of September, I can imagine Arsenal fans, if results aren't the way we'd like. Obviously, we haven't seen the fixture list, because when the fixture list comes, you assume, well, you basically pick out the that's winnable. But if results don't go away, then I think that there's going to be shockwaves. Who knows? We might even get a few panic buys.
For me, every Arsenal fan that's out there, and whenever I hear there's no money because we're not in Champions League, real quick, I'll make it nice and quick for everybody. Average net profit at Arsenal make a year is about $440 million US dollars, right? Before taxes, we take that down to about 390. Quick maths here, I'll take that down to about 300 million pounds. Okay, our total expenditure average per season is 45 million American. Bring that down to about 30 million pound, and the exchange takes you down to about 270 million pound per season is what we bring in. This is why I want to know where the money is. Merson asked the same question, right? We spent 154 with Arteta. Who spent 154? I couldn't care less if you spent 200. I don't give a fuck. I want to know from my 154, right? Where's my 96 million that I could have spent on a striker in January? Where'd that go? And don't tell me that the Cronkies aren't taking money out the bag, because if they are, then that's where it went. And if they're not, I want to know where all the money has gone since Emery has come in. Because when Arteta first came in, guys, real quick, I'll just snap it up. We bought Partey, we bought Gabriel, we bought Cedric was free, Willian was free, and we bought Pablo Mari. Pablo Mari, Gabriel, And Partey, total in euros, costs us about 110 million euro, 115 million euro. Have I not got change from 300 million pound? Where'd that money go? Doesn't this money roll over, or does that money just go dead? Do we just chuck it in the bin? Gracie, have you got my money? Have you got my money? Because she's got all the nice mic and all that, and it's getting better at her place.
Steve, let's not forget, right, that, you know, if you want to fast forward it back, one of the reasons why, you know, I bought into the Emirates Stadium is because, you know,
bastards.
At the time, the team that at the time when it was mused in '98, the team we were competing with was Man United, because they, at the time, they had I don't think they had the 75,000 seat stadium at the time, but
Old Trafford? No, it wasn't.
Old Trafford at the time, it's about 60,000, but because it's an industrial area, they can increase the capacity. So by '98, the capacity can increase to 70,000. So they were saying that Arsenal can't compete with that. So you buy into
residential,
that.
yeah.
So if you've been in a stadium since the 06-07 season, and if we do our maths, it's going to come up to 15 or 16 years. That means every season we've got 22,000 extra seats.
Yeah, I was counting that.
So
yeah.
if we talk about match day revenue, where's that gone? That can't all go on the stadium deck. It can't. It's not possible for it to be all massive stadium. It doesn't make sense. The money's there. You know, we're caked with money at Arsenal.
Tell me about it.
And let's not forget, during that, for the majority of times we've been in the Emirates Stadium, we've been participating in Europe's premier competitions, the Champions League, which means just doing maths. Say we get into the last 16, and then we have the TV money, we have the advertising. I'm no mathematician. I'm only hazarding a guess, probably about £70 million through Champions League participation. And then you can add on the other ones from participation in the FA Cup and just being in the league.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of money, and that's without, you know, like the revenue, the match day revenue, and the season tickets and ticket prices each season. So there's money there.
Plenty.
Where has it gone?
Exactly.
Well, when your owner has multiple sporting clubs, you can only imagine that some of it would be funneled through others. I mean, who's his NFL team again? Is it the Rams?
Rams, yeah.
The Rams. Good season. That they don't seem to be skimping too much. The Denver Nuggets don't seem to be too hard up for cash.
No.
This is the problem. If he had to pick out of those three sporting teams, I guarantee you Arsenal rank at the bottom. I guarantee you we are the last priority.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But look, honestly, I look at those costs. I look at the numbers, and when it comes to numbers and dollars and cents, I'm happy for anyone that wants to go toe to toe with me all day. Let's play this game, because I will end you. Anyone. I can do the math for the last 5 years, just like that. So anyone wants to play that game, by all means, jump on Instagram, give me some shit, watch what happens. It'll be fucking great, right? Don't forget to like, share, subscribe to this channel for shits and giggles. Don't forget, Gracie's on her way to 1K. And Scott Borg at the IFT pod. Well, fuck, if you guys aren't subscribed to them, who you subscribe to me? And Kenny Ken, I want to say one little thing, and I think everybody on the panel here will agree. Kenny Ken needs to hurry up and get a channel. And in the comments below, I want everybody to just tell me, should Kenny Ken have his own channel or not? Pressure on you, mate.
Oh, well, you can watch him on Instagram.
No, not good enough. No. Want you on YouTube. Don't care. No, I'm greedy.
What's happening is about transferable techniques. Is because, you know, one of the things is that it's not an easy job that you guys
I'll edit your videos. There you go. See?
Well, yeah, that's the thing. It's all about editing. You know, the thing about AFT, you know, just doing what you guys are doing. You're doing a fantastic job, and you know, it is a very fruitful and young market. But then again, YouTube is probably having a chance of becoming a professional footballer or an actor or a singer. Only a few are going to make it. You know what I mean? So you have to decide: do you want to do it for fun, or do you want to do it for the money? If you do it for if your motivation is to do it for the money, you're going to be a very frustrated person, because I've seen people who've built YouTube channels for one reason only, and they've kind of thought that because they get a lot of views on AFTV, that's going to transfer over to YouTube. It doesn't work like that, because you know, if you're watching any videos of someone on AFTV, you're watching AFTV. you're not watching that particular person necessarily, unless it's a massive star, and they can take their following over with them. Like there are like a few people who have done, but not everyone who happens to get the odd video of 6K figures can transfer their the popularity, because people maybe will be watching for that person, or they've been watching because it's Arsenal have lost today. Let's watch AFTV. Look at it go!
Yes.
Oh my God, he's gonna cry.
Yeah, I've been clipped up.
They've crying. Like Liverpool fans were going to send it to around all over. Their fans were their mates all over the world. The Man United fans, West Ham fans, Spurs fans, Chelsea fans, and we have to remember that a lot of people do watch some of the fan cams, especially when it becomes emotional when we lose, especially AFTV at the time, is because it's entertaining. Because
the reaction,
football fans, the best time to interview a football fan who's of that character is after we lose.
It's fucking, it's on like Donkey Kong.
Funny.
I'm guilty of that. I am guilty as charged. Every time we lose, I love to go on YouTube because I just like to see the people that have been like cheering us on, like deluded. Like, I love to watch it. I love to just see their faces because that's how I guarantee it's how we feel all the time watching it, because it is. So it's nice to actually see that little bit of like realism. That we're not as good as people are saying. We come out with this chant with Super Mick Arteta. That aged brilliantly.
Fuck.
I changed the words long before. The
remix by Gracie Mae.
We're going to Europa League. We're going to Europa League, and I was right. It's just it's so frustrating. But yeah, I'm guilty of that. I do go and watch your AFTVs and stuff after we lose, and just see what's going on.
I hear what you're saying, because they had their peak around 2016, 2017 season, where the main characters became absolutely massive. But it became obvious that fans from other clubs were having a laugh.
Oh yeah,
they really were laughing.
Piss take, massive piss take.
It's like the score. Even you guys are Arsenal. You must have thought, right, I don't know what time it was like in Oz. But there are people in England like thinking, right, the game's like at 5 o'clock, give it an hour. Go and make. Noel Gallagher says, I'll go and make a cup of tea and then give it an hour and then I'll turn on the AFTV. And the admiration for the content isn't there. It's just laughing and joking. But then again, YouTube isn't about entertainment at the end of the day.
I'm just annoyed Gracie brought up that chant, because now that chant is in my head, and I don't know what I dislike more, the chant or that North London Forever, the Angels.
Oh my God.
Oh, fuck me.
Of them equally.
Fuck me.
Same here. There's a school of thought amongst Arsenal fans. They actually genuinely believe that this is going to be like akin to
You'll never walk alone.
Yeah,
tell you what.
That's what they were trying to pull off. They're trying to copy fucking Liverpool. It's like, we'll give them a song and maybe we'll bring the fans together. Are you fucking mad?
Manufacture that's
dude.
That's a culture. That's a tradition. You can't just pay some bloke to sing a song, play it over the speakers in the Emirates, because a lot of people who go have told me they actually play the singing a lot over the speakers as well. So
fuck me, tragedy.
Exactly. No, none of them was singing. Not many people were singing. Some of them don't know the words, and like me, it's one of the reason why I take exception. It's not the Arsenal thing. It's me. It's a North London thing. I'm from North London. I'm from Islington, and he's not singing about his love of his club. He's talking about an area where basically there's been a lot of crime in that area of Angel, and there's a lot of people who come from poverty, and sometimes they go and see women, ladies at night. So it's not a football song. There's nothing to be proud of, and he's only talking about his Islington journey. Why don't you talk about Finchley Park, Highbury? Why don't you talk about Holloway Road?
Fucking joke.
It's only mentioned in one line. It's literally the one line of the song mentions Arsenal, maybe two. It's so. I love the song. I do. I like the song from a person. That my family's from North London, like that speaks differently. But when it's in a stadium, yes, it's an emotional song, it's emotive. But we've got chance. You know what I mean? We've already got them.
It
We've
fills
got
me with
them.
emotions, but probably not the same ones as you. Feel more of anger,
Oh,
and
fuck.
Yeah,
frustration.
I'm all for new things. You're right. I'm young. I'm nearly 17. You know, I'm all for changing and creating new traditions. But there's a line. You know, we have set things. It's a football club. It's not a merch franchise. It's not a PR machine. You know, we're there at the end of the day as fans to go watch football with our families, friends, also. So you make new friends while you're at the stadium. You know that you have your family, you have your normal friends, and then you have, you know, the people you go watch the game with. And to create this song, I love the song. I listened to it, you know, outside of the stadium, and it fits better with, you know, maybe it's more relatable to people that are from North London and all of that side of it. But when we're talking about football, you know, at least Liverpool's song actually correlates to who they are as a club. It's part of them. And you know, we have our chance. We have this, we have that. Create new chants about players and everything. But surely, why aren't we playing the old ones in the stadium as our stadium song? Because surely that's important. They're trying to create a new legacy with the Emirates, even though the Emirates has been around for my whole life. You know, we're trying to create this whole legacy now. Why are you changing the culture now? When you should have done it 16 years ago at the beginning to bring in the fans. It's
Exactly.
ridiculous.
It's a shambles because I mean, we sold out even the name of the fucking stadium. It was supposed to be fucking New Highbury, and we decided to sell the name out as the Emirates Stadium. Oh, fuck, there goes the name. We might as well sell the fucking seats. I reckon, look, if we're going to play a song at the Emirates and you want it to be in sync with Arsenal, now, Scott, you'll feel me on this. I want a bit of Akadaka, Highway to Hell. I'm telling you. It's spot on. It literally tells you what Arsenal are about. You know, I'm on a highway to hell. I want that. Because you know what? That's exactly what's happening at Arsenal, right? Because we completely sold our souls. Once we left Highbury, we jumped into the Emirates. That's why it's like, oh, there's no feel. That's right, there's no feel. Americans don't have feel. It's all facade.
Challenging Bayern.
Remember
that promise?
Yeah.
We'll be competing with the likes of Bayern Munich.
Well, but I think they meant Bayern Munich's second team, not the first team.
Off the field, we're smashing them teams like Brian because, you know, when Bayern, you know, there's always a story it does around. It's actually a true story. You know, there's clubs that are going to who've got relegated this season. They've probably made more money than Bayern Munich this season. And that's because the fact is that the TV monies is absolutely ridiculous that we get paid. But at the end of the day, everyone around the world wants to watch the Premiership, not because it's the best quality, because it's the most exciting. They like the fact that Crystal Palace can go to the Etihad and win 3-2 and play off the park. They love the fact that, you know, Crystal Palace can smash us to pieces, you know, and they don't get the impression they're going to get that from any other league, except for the Emirates, except for the Premiership. So, of course, you know, we are going to sell. Plus, another thing is the Premiership they've done. I'll tell you one thing: the Premiership are excellent at promoting their product. They've got to be the best.
Mate.
Because the way they do it, they're good. They're good because I wouldn't be able to sell it because some of the guys who are there, they're not the most reputable people, not nicest of people, but when it comes to promoting their product, they're brilliant. They're excellent at it.
Marketing team must be the same at Arsenal. Well, for me, I'll look at Arsenal now. A shambles. I saw our season this season a fucking joke, and I hate to say that I picked we'll finish sixth, and it wasn't because I'm happy with it. Because I looked at the squad and said sixth. You know, with the transfers that we had come in, right? To be honest, are your opinions? With the players that Mikel Arteta signed this season, right? Which ones for you guys? And this is just wondering, actually look like players that were decent, a decent buy, in honest opinion. No shit, no bullshit. What do you think was a decent signing by Mikel Arteta this season? This season, not previous. This one. So no Partey and Gabriel. You can't count them as much as we want to.
I would say Ramsdale. I mean. I was happy that we were signing Ramsdale when we did. The only issue I had was the price tag. I felt at the time that we overpaid, but I mean, he came in and I think he has he has done a good job. His distribution is much better than Leno's,
Yeah.
which I actually think as shot stoppers, Leno and Ramsdale, there's not much between them. I think they're both really good, but the distribution of Ramsdale is levels above Leno. So I think that was a good signing. Again, Ben White, not the worst signing. But I mean, the standards for defensive players are not very high at Arsenal. And Tomiyasu, I think the problem with him is, and now we've got this with our right back and our left back,
Injury.
they've both shown that we can't rely on them for a season. You almost need to consider Tierney and Tomiyasu as your second choice, right back or left back, because of their injury records. And I love both of those players. I think they're both excellent players. But we can't count on Kieran Tierney to play a season. Tavares isn't going to cut. So you've got to find a starting left back, because Tierney is not going to see through a season, as much as it pains me to say.
No, I couldn't agree with you more. I don't know about you, Kenny.
I disagree with Ben White there, though.
Oh, yeah. I'm with you there.
He is the worst. I think he is the worst. He's awful. You look at all the games this season that, we've conceded, and he's majority at fault for almost all of them. His defensive record's appalling. The silly mistakes he makes, and it's not like it's a different mistake every game. It's the same mistake over and over again. And that's when I don't just blame him. Then I look to the manager and I'm like, well, he's obviously not pointing these mistakes out and trying to correct it, or the coaching staff are not looking at it and go, right, you're doing this wrong again. We need to fix it. There's none of that. It's good luck, off you go, do your job, and it makes the same mistake, and it puts us in a terrible position, because it's not like we've won by massive margins this season. It's your 2-1s, it's it's 1-0s, whatever. But we, even if it's offside, we've still conceded that goal because of Ben White, etc. So, I don't see it. I really don't. It stresses me out to look at Ben White. I'm like, it's so shaky. At the start, or in the middle of the season, I was thinking it was probably around the game we played against City at home when Arteta had COVID, right? I was thinking, you know what, this back four, it's gelling together. It's not like he's fixed the defense, but it's like working. Ramsdale was playing like excellently. Probably that was his peak of the season there, and it was a shame that we lost that game. But you could see the team there. That was the team. I envision when I look at it. It's not the best, it's not the worst, but we're still trying to compete with the top teams like Man City. And that game was excellent. That was probably, even though we lost, that was probably one of our best games of the season. It was they laid out everything on the pitch, and in the end we got unlucky, and it was down to individual problems.
Odegaard could have had a pen.
And your Gabriel, and the lack of discipline. And that brings on to another point. The lack of discipline in this squad is a joke. It's really bad. And when I look at Arteta, I watched the training videos and that just to see what's going on. When I look at Arteta and the players, I don't see manager, player. I see friends or with the lads. I don't see that separation. They're too much like this, where they should be about there. But they're too close, and that's where you get a problem with some players. They're getting too close to the manager, and some players are being left behind. And you're going to get your favourites, Xhaka. The players that play week in, week out, that don't deserve to play week in, week out. And then you get your Pepes that aren't that close to the manager, and they've got their line of professionalism outcasted. He's leaving this window. I'm telling you now, sure. I feel like he's going to go to PSG or something, like he's linked to. I really do.
He'll thrive there as well.
Yeah.
Because I think, and that's because they will play an attacking brand of football, and another thing as well, they'll be dominating games. So whenever you have a player like Pepe in a team that dominates games, he doesn't have to. There's a time where it's not going to be an issue. He loses the ball. Where Arsenal, we're not dominating games, he'll get the ball, and rather than keep it simple, he'll feel he has to do something like a nutmeg. Or it's
pressure.
Spectacular, because he's not one. he feels he has to make an impression rather than, you know, be part of the game and try and help us win the game. And I think that's the thing. But, you know, I agree with everything you guys said about, you know, Ramsdale. Ramsdale, for me, the reason why I wanted him, not because I thought he'd be any good, is because he wanted to be here.
Yeah.
I actually saw a guy. He was so excited. I went, hang on here. He doesn't know that he's joining Arsenal. But he wanted, like, I was joining the Arsenal. You know, the Arsenal with all the tradition and everything. And I thought, I'll have him. And, you know, I didn't think he would start games.
Neither do I.
But then, that was a mistake on my part. That was a massive mistake on my part because I overlooked the fact that even though he did play for Bournemouth and Sheffield United and got relegated, he has amassed a huge amount of games. And he's got a lot of experience, probably more experience than Leno, actually, in playing the Premiership, even though he's a lot younger. So, you know, when he got in the game, he was like, he reminded me of one of those goalkeepers, what I call attacking goalkeepers. That, you know, he's one of those people, not only is he a great shot stopper, but he tries to make sure he's in the game, either verbally or from with his feet. And that's what I liked about him. There was some, I like the Schmeichel-ness, you know.
That's exactly what I was going to say. A bit of Schmeichel in him.
Yeah. Remember that save against Leicester City, that free kick?
Yeah,
Something else.
Like, I was behind the goal at you know, the King Power Stadium, and I thought that was in. I think it was it Madison who had
Madison
free kick, wasn't it?
Yeah, Madison.
And that's what I loved about it because it just denied him.
Yeah.
I hate Madison.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, because he's a pork chop, isn't he? Because of course I don't know what Madison do well.
Fuck, I hate him.
But really, but the thing is that I got that kind of feeling that the guy loved playing for this team. You know, he had leadership. He's probably a potential captain because of the fact that he actually actually see something. So towards the end, I think we became a bit like Bournemouth and Sheffield United. Instead, we were getting battered, and he was always in the game. But if you look at if you do your player ratings every match, you wouldn't mark him down.
No.
There's only a few, and it's easy to say that he's our player of the season. Ben White, obviously, he is what he is in a 10. He's a player that can, you know, bring the ball out, and that's what we really got him in there for. Don't play at right back because he was a disaster against Chelsea. Thank God we won the game.
Yeah.
And if you play him in a you know, like a back four, you really, really need to, you know, he really needs help and communication with all the defence, not just you know, Gabriel, but yeah,
Tommy covers him.
Needed him when we needed him. You know, he wasn't impressive, but then again, he got his injured. You know, Rob Holding came in. Enough said about that. Tommy Atsu was another one who, to keep him fit. And I agree with your points on Kieran Tierney.
Yeah.
You know, I'm sure later down in the program we're going to go through areas we need to improve on.
Yeah.
But those areas, you know, moving forward, is two, you know, a right back and a left back. Because at the end of the day, I want players not to deputise those two. I want players to push those two who are probably better than those two. Because one of the things that, you know, I'm sensing from the comments all four of us have made is that we're worried about the gap of quality between the first teamer and his deputy. Yeah. Like, for instance, you're talking about Tierney and Tavares. Like, the gap of quality shouldn't be like, it should only be like that.
Tavares.
But Tierney and Tavares, it was like that. And then you've got another situation where Cedric and Tomiyasu, it started out like that. And when Cedric, you know, was
couple of runs, couple of games,
he was reducing the gap in quality. But let's face it, if you really want to sort of challenge for the top four, or even eventually challenge the league, we need right backs and a left back. One who's going to be fit for purpose, and two, we're going to produce the kind of, you know, displays that we're getting from Robertson, Alexander, Chilwell, you know, Reece James.
Yeah,
those are the kind of
wonderful
players we aspire to.
Yeah.
And I haven't even mentioned the Man City. I haven't even mentioned Cancelo.
No, don't go there, mate.
You know what I mean?
Fuck me, mate. That star-studded team. Like, we are not even close. And we've got this transfer window coming up. Not even close. We've got this transfer window coming up, right? And seriously, to all of you guys, realistically, how much does this club need to spend in this transfer window, right, to get up there and actually be competitive? And to be honest, and the second part to this question is, what players are we going to be getting in Like, if you guys are going to be choosing players, realistically, how much are we spending, and which players do you want to see in? Like, you pick a player, I'm happy to hear it. I've got my 3. By all means, have at it, guys. Whoever wants this one first, it's all yours.
Hang on, Steve, you need about 6 or 7. You don't need 3.
Wait a minute. You see, this is Arsenal Football Club. You need 4 players, you get 1.5. I said realistically.
Let's be honest. Arsenal fans have a right to demand that we have that number of players because of some reasons what we've been sold. We were told that Arsenal not going to buy a player if they don't unless he's of a sufficient quality. The next message we'll get is that we have to clear the decks. We've got to reduce the wage bill, which they've done. But so really and truly, Arsenal fans have a right to demand a complete change, not just to the squad, but to the first team as well.
I'm talking 11.
That the Aubameyang money is being spent on giving new improved contracts to Eddie Nketiah and Mohamed Elneny. They have to be concerned about that. They can't be, backing his manager and being impressed that he basically, instead of identifying the areas that are going to make us improve and make us challenge, he's begged Eddie Nketiah to stay at the football club. He's begged Elneny to stay at the football club. He's basically if you've begged Balogun to sign a new contract, what's that say to Balogun? What, stay out of loan forever or be a reserve to Eddie? I mean, when is this guy going to get a chance? When are we going to get a look at Balogun? Because from what I'm seeing, the guy that's blocking his pathway is a player that scored 10 goals in about 59.
Yeah, it's about 55 or 56 appearances.
56 appearances in the league. And he basically scores against lower league opposition. But because he scored 3 times, even though he scored in 3 matches, we're now saying, I'll give him a new contract. He's the real deal. You can't make it up.
That contract winds me right up.
Yeah.
Like, I saw Aubameyang play live the other night because Barcelona played a match down here. And nobody on this planet can tell me that you wouldn't rather rely on Aubameyang than Eddie Nketiah. Now, in terms of players I'd like to see come in, I'd like to see, and I'm trying to be realistic, like with players who I think could or would.
Starting 11,
Tielemans is someone I'd love to see come in, significantly better than Partey and Xhaka. So I'd love to see Tielemans come in. Who else would I like? We need a striker. Morata is not the kind of striker I want to see us.
Really? No.
I've got plenty of time for Jonathan David from Lille. I like that he's 2-footed, he's pacey, good player. But I wouldn't mind just bringing 2 solid strikers in. Dominic Calvert-Lewin and Ivan Toney, and then someone like a Jonathan David. But the only thing I disagree with you on, Kenny, is Elneny's contract. I actually am not too bothered by Elneny's, and the reason I'm not too bothered is because Elneny knows his place in the squad.
Yeah.
He knows that he's signing on. I would be shocked if he got a pay rise in there.
No, I didn't think he did.
But you'd assume he's signing on knowing that he's happy to sit and be the 5th choice. He loves the club. He's happy to be the 5th choice and come in if we have an injury crisis. That's all he really ever does in the season. So I don't mind Elneny, but Eddie's knocked us back a couple of times because he thinks he's worthy of being a starter or all these minutes. I can see, I put out on my Twitter not long before this, I said, all the people celebrating clearing the dead wood and saving wages, I hope they realise that in a year's time, we're going to be paying some club to take Eddie on loan. So
100%.
And we'll be caught, and we're forking out 60% of his wages whilst they're doing that.
Of course we will.
Yeah.
Of that 100K.
Yeah.
The
60K
thing
a week.
is, why?
Sorry.
It's not. It's fine. Like, why are we focusing on Nketiah when we got people like Martinelli in the squad that we need to keep a hold of? You know, Martinelli since he had his red card, right? He was not the same for the rest of the season, and I don't think we can't argue. I don't know what happened then, but ever since then he has not been the same. But he may not have been scoring in the goals, but he does noticeable things on and off the ball constantly. He's just in the right place. He's always in the right place. He will be up the top of the pitch and he will run back to support no matter what. He doesn't think about it. But then you got your players like Lacazette who will just stay up there and take a slight jog back, maybe lose the ball in midfield or whatever. That's not what we need, and we're prioritizing the wrong things. You know, we don't need to be signing these young strikers and up and coming strikers all the time. You know, if they are serious about competing in the Champions League, let alone get into the Champions League, let alone competing, you have to have a balance. And I think Arteta is so stubborn that he wants to be the hero in the situation. He wants to turn this young pack of players into something great, and he wants to show the world just for himself. Not for us, for himself, because no manager in their right mind would try run a youth project in this day and age. When you have, look at Man City, look at all the experienced players. Yeah, they're signing young players, but they have real experience. They're signing Haaland, for God's sake. You know what I mean? He may be young, but he's proven. He knows what he's doing, and we're signing. You know, I love our academy, and some of the players that we produce at our academy are brilliant. But you know, they don't have to be like signing 100k a week. We're talking for Nketiah. We could spend all that money on a top striker if we could. If Arteta's project is so amazing, then why can't he attract the biggest players in the world? If he really, if everyone believes in this project, why can't he attract your Vlahovic's? Because he has no ambition. He just wants to make himself look great. He doesn't care about us. He doesn't care about the fans, because in his little world, as long as he can win something, whether it be an FA Cup or not, there's anything wrong with these cups. FA Cup is fantastic and I love it still, but it's small in comparison to what we actually want to achieve. No, and there's people sitting there online right now and going, "Oh no, don't worry, we've got another shot next season." I guarantee you, he will throw away the Europa League, he'll throw away the FA Cup, and he'll throw away every other domestic cup that we can be in to try and get top 4 again. And it'll be the same
100%.
until he leaves. It'll be the same until he leaves, because that's all he wants. He thinks if he gets top 4, right, I've done my job, I can do what I want now. It's not the case.
Couldn't agree more. Couldn't agree more, because I think that is the situation. Is, you know, even though you want to talk about the whole signing of the season, the fact is that whenever he's been put in a situation where the pressure's been on, he's had an opportunity, you know, to like I said, progress the club. He had a great opportunity against Villarreal. We got our pants pulled down. We completely utterly underestimated Villarreal last season. We generally thought there'd be like a final in Poland between Man United and Arsenal, you know, which was a mistake. And that was just a combination of, you know, like what I call the 6-pointer games or the championship rounds. This season is, you know, you can't, you know, like emphasise how badly he failed. You know, people let him off the hook too easy for me with the FA Cup final game against Nottingham Forest. He was let off the hook because, you know, Liverpool game was apparently bigger in the Carabao Cup. And then after we lost against Liverpool, obviously they're better than us and no complete disgrace. He had said, right, we only got all our rivals are still in the FA Cup, all our rivals are still in the Europe. Why don't we just all we had to do was concentrate on that top 4. People seem to, you know, neglect or even probably purposely refuse to acknowledge how many winnable games we had.
Oh fuck! Mate, we had too many.
If you did your Premier League predictions after we beat Aston Villa, you would have predicted 9 points. Crystal Palace, Brighton, and Southampton.
Yeah,
and you probably would have thought, right, Man United and Chelsea and Man United would be very hard games, and West Ham would be a bit of a, you know, a situation where you don't want to be walking barefoot in, you know, in your house in case someone's dropped a bit of glass. That kind of feeling. So those sort of situations where if we beaten the teams we should have been beating, we'd have been clear. I mean, there was even talk, albeit alludedly, about pipping Chelsea for third place. So when I mentioned earlier about everyone leaving their back doors open,
which won't happen again.
Spurs left the back open, but Chelsea left it ajar as well. Because you look at what happened with Chelsea
all the way to the end of the season.
We smashed them to pieces, even though it was probably one of the worst exhibitions defending by both sides. Previous to that, Brentford smashed them, so they left the door open for third place as well, and we just couldn't take advantage. And the score of thought is that Chelsea still got an elite manager. I'm hearing today that come Monday, it's going to be official that was it Tom Bowley is going to be owning the club. Ten Hag's gone to Ten Hag's gone to Man United.
Yep.
He was already at the Crystal Palace game last Sunday. As far as he's concerned, he's the Man United manager now.
He left early too. So, he picked up the guys and goes, "Get out! I've seen enough."
Yeah, and then you've got a situation where Conte's just formally confirmed that he wants to continue as Spurs' head coach. Yeah. Plus, he's got Patrici. So I don't think Man United are going to be that generous in midfield where basically it was like rush goalie. It might as well have been rush goalie where let's just attack and let's just hope our defenders can cope with about 5 players on them. And our midfield just went, well, are only going to be interesting when we're in the attack. That's not going to happen under Ten Hag.
No. See, it's going to be a well-oiled machine under Ten Hag. It's going to be well-oiled.
And it's the same with Spurs as well. Conte is not a top 4 manager. He's going to try and challenge for the league. He couldn't give a
he doesn't give a shit about top 4.
Whether Man City and Liverpool are going to strengthen, and as far as he's concerned, Spurs are going for that league. They're going to challenge Chelsea for third place, and then the Champions League. He's not. If you look at what he's done in the Champions League, it's not something that is really impressive. He tends to be a manager that is only interested in winning the league.
Yeah. And you know what? He's recruiting.
Spurs, so
but he's recruiting.
Yeah,
in the mud.
Where's it going to leave us if we're giving Eddie Nketiah a new contract? How does that? What are we trying to sell to the fans?
Mediocrity. Mediocrity.
Yeah.
Mediocrity is what we're selling. For me, I look at Eddie Nketiah as my third choice at best striker. For me, I look at Arsenal right.
And I look at Eddie Nketiah.
He should be gone as well. I mean, he could have been fucked off with the attitude that he had with not signing a contract, thinking he's too big for Arsenal. I believe in that as well. But I look at the whole thing. Like, I got the shits the other day on Instagram because I couldn't handle it. Everyone's doing business, Kenny, except for us. Look, my shopping list. My shopping list is cheap. My shopping list is Max Aaron's at. No. Fuck Jesus. He can go get fucked. He's shit. Fuck that bloke. He's got 8 goals for a Man City team that creates chances for shits and giggles. Right? He can go get fucked. Right? Yes. And that £50 million fucking. They want to sell him for 50 and bought Haaland for 50. You want to deal with me? You're going to get 1. Fuck that. If I was going to get a fucking striker, I would go, you know what? Let's go and get Gritty. For me, and I don't care what anyone says, I want Ivan Toney from Brentford. The reason why I want Ivan Toney from Brentford is because this guy's scoring goals for a team that don't get me, they're fluent, but they're nowhere near as good as Man City is in creation. 12 goals, 4 assists for a guy who's not even excited to be at Brentford. In the midfield, I was screaming Tielemans start of the season. I even said that the only reason Maddison is doing so well is because of him, and I've got to have him. But at right back, no one is chatting about good old Max Aarons. A decent right back. And they're all English, and they're all proven, and they can just come in and not all adapt to the freaking English football. Guess what? They already have done it. They can come in and do a job off the bat. Not this, I'm going to go to Napoli and get some guy that I've never heard of, that everyone's chatting shit about. I can't even pronounce the guy's name. I'm sorry. I'm not racist. I just can't say his name, right? And, we're going to go to Napoli and get him. Why the fuck am I going to go to Napoli and get him and then go, he needs time to adapt and end up like Pepe? Exactly. No, fuck that.
That's always been my point.
Fuck that.
Why is it? If you look at Liverpool, All right, Jurgen Klopp.
Jota.
Look at like if you look at the bedrock of that team, a lot of those players have got Premiership experience. He's basically all Jurgen Klopp's done. He's not a genius. He's just doing what Liverpool used to do when they used to dominate in the 80s. They used to get players from clubs in the football league at the time who had 3 or 4 years experience of playing in the football league. So when they went to Liverpool, they were seasoned professionals. They had 4 years experience. So that way, because at the time Liverpool never trained you. They never had a tactics board. You just worked it out for yourself. So that's why they never went for young players. They went for experienced players. Jurgen Klopp has done it in a different way, where he's got English players who basically says, right, they're going to be adaptable. They know this league inside out. And if I don't necessarily have to get English players. I'll get someone like Mane, who was at Southampton, who's been there for 2 years. Jota, learned about our league when he's at Wolves. So these are sort of personnel he's getting. So in that respect, it's not rocket science. Now, Arsenal, I suppose you could say, all right, you can't blame us because we've got Ben White, he's played in the league, and and we also got Ramsdale as well. So in that respect, I like that. But in other areas, I don't particularly want foreign players because simple reasons that they take a long to adapt.
There are certainly Premier League players in smaller clubs, not trying to be disrespectful, that surely we could go and entice. Go and get Basuma from Brighton. Go and get Basuma and Tielemans. Go and chase. You know what? Go back in. If we're selling Pepe, that they're saying that's failed, go chase Zaha. Go and get Zaha.
Is he too old or something? Is it? Is that the problem with Zaha now? He's too old. El Nenny's young, apparently. Anyway,
one of my key frustrations with the team, I can see some of the rationale behind a youth project, but it's only ever going to be a project and not a success if there are not the right experienced players in there. Zaha's been around. He's at that age where he knows the league. He knows how it works. He knows how the refs work. Bring him in. Bring Zaha in. Tielemans has been around Leicester for a while. He's been in the league. Bring him in. I know he's not old. But he doesn't have to be old to be experienced. He's plays for Belgium. He's been capped a fair few times.
Can assist the ball, can score a goal. He's not the quickest player in the world, but you know what he can do? He can also stop the game. He can slow it down. He's a big boy that doesn't get knocked off the ball very easily. A backbone. Partey is a big boy who I can do that to, and he hits the fucking deck. I need someone that when someone runs into him, when another player runs into him, Scott, you know what I mean? My boy don't fall down. The other bloke hits the bloody ground. I've had enough of our blokes falling over themselves.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
Saka spends more time on the floor. He does. He's all overseas on the floor.
And doing this.
We've got a massive injury. Yeah. I think one thing we've got to learn next season as well, when you made some great points about players falling on the floor. Referees are going to be looking at us as well, because if you look towards the end of the run, what I was noticing is that we were getting some cheap free kicks, cheeky ones.
Yeah.
People like Lacazette and Gabriel. And then towards, like the business end of the season, referees went, no, I'm not having that. So that's another thing we got to look. In terms of the players we got. In an ideal world, I would like Thomas Partey to be fit and fully fit.
Yeah,
because I do think that he's our best player, and we need to build a team around him, because when he plays at his best from about January up until his injury at Crystal Palace, what I noticed is that Xhaka was out of harm's way. He was able to go and have a few adventures, maybe do his bits from deep line on the field. And Partey was able to not only be a deep line midfielder, but
like
he was also able to sit in the midfield. And he was also there to be help us in attack as well. Another thing as well, when Partey's in the side, players like Odegaard, they have to come back and fetch the ball.
Exactly. Because he's an anchor.
There's a complete, and that's one of the things why we really need to keep Thomas Partey really fit. I don't know what he needs to do in pre-season, but I still think that if we can keep him fit and get the right partner alongside him, I think our midfield is going to be very, very strong. And then who knows where we can get. But, the midfield is just as important as the strikers. you know, if we don't get a striker this season, I'll be really, really underwhelmed because I'm looking at names. I'm hearing about Tammy Abraham. A lot of Arsenal fans didn't want him last season because we thought, you know.
I'd take him with Tony.
He does
both
criteria of player with Premiership experience. Plus, he's now got European experience as well. So, you know, a lot of people talking about Ivan Toney. Said, well, I'm not sure about him because, you know, I'm not saying I'm not sure about him, but they're saying that he's only had one full season at the Premiership. But, you know, he's another name. Ollie Watkins seems to have gone off the radar because the season before then, he was pressed against Villa, but his goal ratios decreased this season. So we're thinking, not so sure. But, you know, striker is a massive position for us. I'm not convinced by Jesus, not because of the, you know, stats that you pulled out, is because I have concerns about the hunger. I don't think he's going to be when he came to Arsenal. He's gone on a team where
he's going to be floating.
He's participated. I think was he fit enough did he get on them last year against Chelsea in the Champions League final? I don't know if he did or not. He didn't make much of an impact anyway. But all in essence, since he's been at Man City, he's won 4 league titles in about 5 years. So he's playing in a team that is the best team in the Premiership, probably the best probably one of the best teams in Europe, where there's a high intensity just in terms of their ambitions. Now he's going to come to Arsenal. Is he going to bring that kind of City intensity to us, or is he going to be hungry? I'm not convinced he will be bringing any of those qualities. You know, the intensity and the hunger. I don't see why he should be coming to our club. He's not going to make it any better. He may even see it as a step down.
Yeah, exactly. I reckon he's going to do it as a desperation tactic because he wants to play football. That's the reason why I reckon, look, Tammy Abraham. Look, I'll take Tammy Abraham and Ivan Toney. You know what? We want to go midfielders. I know Partey is a great midfielder, but I don't need to go. I could go and say Abu Dhabi was a great midfielder too. I watched him play. He was good, but his problem was injuries. Now, my issue is like we got Kieran Tierney and Thomas Partey injury prone. If I go and get a Tielemans, Basuma's in the court. There's a court issue with Basuma, but I'd take him. But you know what? Everyone talked about Bellingham, right, for Liverpool, but nothing's happened. Jude Bellingham's another player that's falling under the radar. And I would take, why can't I get...
We can afford him.
We can afford him. And the thing is, why can't we, like, Gracie, correct me, right? Why can't I? Why can't I get, and guys, tell me if I'm wrong, why can't I go and get a Tielemans for £25 million? Am I right? 27, 25? Why can't I go and get a Jude Bellingham for £45 million, right? And now I've got 2 midfielders that are coming in to start. Now that puts pressure on Partey. That puts pressure on bloody Xhaka. And those guys go on the bench. Now my bench is looking pretty sexy. In the midfield, it's looking hot. El Neni, he's that 5th choice, right? Now I've got two midfielders that go in there, and now everyone's fighting for this, and that's hunger, the hunger you were talking about. Now, if I go and get Ivan Toney and Tammy Abraham, when Saka's playing shit creek like he was doing the last 5 to 6 games, correct me if I'm wrong, right? Tammy can play the wing. Tammy can play up front, and he can play the wing. So I could throw Tammy on the wing. I could throw Tammy and Ivan Toney up front. Now, Saka's thinking, oh shit, there goes my position. Yeah, star boy, Merry Christmas. And like I said, Max Aarons goes in at right back. And the reason I'm saying Max Aarons at right back is because now I can walk Tomiyasu over to the right centre back position that he really likes next to next to my boy Gabriel, and Ben White, because Gracie loves him so much, can watch the game from the bloody bench.
Mate, you've just solved it. You've just won the transfer window. Well done.
What do you reckon? Should the Aussie Gooner be the new coach for Arsenal, the new manager for Arsenal? If I did that, would you guys all fucking love me?
We'll have to see the results first. Remember, it's a results-based, results business.
That's it.
And you have to be able to motivate those players and fight, and basically
motivate, of course. It'll be fair.
But what I want from you, I want 4-3-3, and I want a situation where we get a balance between, like I said, the high intensity game and like possession based game. Because if you look at it, I've seen a lot of 4-3-3 teams where for 90% of the season they are playing excellent football, but because of the high intensity they operate at, i.e. Pochettino Spurs, in the last furlong, because of the way they play, they tire, and that's why I think they miss out on You know, like the 50-50 games, like big trophies.
Oh, yeah.
So I want to balance between that. But if you have a massive, massive squad, you don't have a strong, and you have players who can come in, you can still play with that high intensity.
Yeah.
And what we don't want is the quality to drop off.
Exactly.
When players are injured. And I think Liverpool kind of mastered that. And Man City have been doing this for years under Pep, where there hasn't been a quality drop-off. I mean, Klopp deserves a medal.
Yeah.
If Liverpool win the Champions League season, he deserves a medal, because you think about it, any other season, that 92 points they got this season
would have won the league.
Amazing.
You would have won the league with that all day.
Yeah, they won. All right, they won on penalties, but come on, they didn't play like Portsmouth. They played a strong Chelsea side who probably should have won both games. But they managed to have the mentality to win those 2 trophies. So, as you know, I was listening to an interview from Jordan Henderson. He was saying, well, we've done everything we can in every competition we've entered. And so, you've got a pat on the back. And I think, talking about today's Champions League, normally when you win a Champions League, watch a Champions League final, you watch it because it's a Champions League final. You watch it because there's another English team. You think, all right, there's a team who I don't want to win because they're English. We never support the other English team. But there's a part of you that has a bit of envy. Like, I was very envious when Chelsea and Man City played in the Champions League final. I still think that I'm always going to say that we're the 3rd biggest club in the country. I'm always going to talk about history. I'm never going to budge from that. But I really, really do get frustrated when I see the progress Liverpool made. And Liverpool have always been a massive, massive club. But for obviously all of us in the panel, they haven't been a massive Premiership club.
Yeah.
And we've won more Premiership titles than them, even though they smashed us when it comes to league titles and European Cups. They've basically got the same kind of business model and same ideas as us, but they took a risk and got an elite boss. So they're not going to upset that elite boss. So elite boss says he needs a player today. You give him that player yesterday, and that's the thing that stands us apart from Liverpool. Is the fact that Liverpool is that we've got Mick Arteta, they got Jurgen Klopp.
Yeah.
They're on par, aren't they? They're pretty close.
What?
What? What the fuck are you saying, man?
You know what? I can hear a dog barking in the background. I can hear the front door go.
Oh, fucking hell.
But doesn't mean I'm going to answer it because I'm too busy doing this.
Oh, fucking hell.
Hold on 2 seconds. Let me go and see what's happening.
No, all good, Kenny.
That remark made me think about the front door. What you're trying to say. You know what I mean?
Guys, listen into what Kenny Ken's doing in the background. I don't think it'll be good. Oh. So, like, for me, those are the guys that I was looking for. These are the kind of players I'm into. Now, I don't know if you guys agree, but those are the kind of guys that I really want at Arsenal. And I think if we make moves like, correct me guys, in the starting line, bring these players from the starting line now off the bench, on the bench, it gives us depth, but good depth. Yep. You know how everyone's saying we need to buy players for the bench? I don't need to buy players for the bench, just like Scott said, if I buy players for the starting 11. And then those players shift over into the bench. The only thing that I'm worried about, right, and this is one thing that I've seen year in, year out, and Kenny Ken's seen it, and Scott's probably seen it, and Gracie, you've seen it plenty, because you never actually seen us in a good transfer window. You've only seen us in the shit. I honestly believe in what they call a delay and confuse tactic. Now, this is a move that gets made in business all the time. It's called we call it delay and confuse. This keeps the ball spinning. And I know Scott's thinking, what do you mean? Trust me, we do it in business. We do that a lot. The delay and confuse tactic is what we've been using in the transfer windows for fucking years. Right? And you know what I'm worried about? The delay is happening, and I'm very fucking confused with all the fucking shit I'm hearing. My worry is, I don't know what you guys reckon. Do you guys think, with this transfer window starting out the way it has, do you guys think that this is going to go the same fucking way as last season and the season before? That's my scare right now. I'm worried about this.
Of course it is. Of course, you've got Edu still. There's been no change there. You've still got Edu, you've still got Vinay, you've still got all the people that control the transfer windows, the negotiations. I guarantee you, Edu will pull something and he'll pay overpriced again for a player that probably won't play under Arteta, but will pay out so much money for it and never gain it back, because who's going to want to come in and buy a player that hasn't played in months to match the price that you got for him. It's never going to work. Their value's decreased. It's gone. It's down in the gutter, right? And it's the problem. It's of course it's going to go the same as every single window we've had, because there's no actual substantial change to say, oh, they actually might do it. There's no in their minds. There's no reason to do it. It's Edu and Vinay. It's what they do. It's what they do, and it's been season after season after season, transfer windows. Every time it's the same.
I'm just waiting for Edu to put his selfie with a nice big fat Cuban cigar once he's signed Morata. I'm just waiting for it, and he's going to hype
we haven't
himself.
even mentioned that.
Don't
We haven't even
Edu.
mentioned Morata.
Tell you what.
I think that the Morata thing is an interesting thing, because when you look at Morata,
I don't want to look at Morata. I really don't.
I know you don't want to look at
Do I have to?
Morata, but if you look at him, he's what I call a good pro. He's a good pro. You can't underestimate the fact that he does well. He does okay at Juventus, but his first chance in English football at Chelsea wasn't successful. He basically likes the ball at his feet. He's basically a penalty box striker. But in terms of the physicality and athleticism of their game, he just isn't going to be. But he's not going to fit.
But that's like Aubameyang. Aubameyang needed the ball to drop to his feet. He wasn't a strong striker, and that was what was holding him back. So why are we being like? Do you guys agree? Why would be? And I'll be honest. To be dead on, I don't think Morata will fit. Gracie, I think your time is a little bit up with us at the moment. Is it? Am I right? Am I spot on? That's okay. Look,
no, I've got a few bits this afternoon, and I've got another show later, and I've got a busy week ahead, so I have to prepare. Unfortunately, I don't particularly want to, but it's been a fantastic chat with all you guys. Thanks for having me on.
Absolute pleasure.
I'm sure we'll get into it again.
Definitely.
I think I know what Gracie's doing. I think she's going to be watching the Challenge Cup final at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium between Huddersfield and Wigan Warriors. So I think that's going to be on at 2:00. Like I said. So she's a rugby league fan.
Definitely, I do like rugby. I do like rugby, but I don't actually watch it. No, I have a band event.
I prefer rugby league. It's more working class.
No, I like cricket as well. I'm a big fan of cricket.
Oh, I love cricket.
Oh, you're a cricket fan. Good. Yeah. English supporter. Yeah. How'd that work out for you? Anyway.
Talk about cricket to Scott and like Steve.
You got ended.
When I was talking about, like the IPL and the Ashes, it was like I was talking to people who had no interest whatsoever in our beautiful game called cricket.
Kenny, we're going to have to do a cricket show, I'm telling you.
I know one thing about cricket.
I'd love to do that.
That Australia wins. And what decimates all. That's all I remember. The demolition job. But you just
that's all that matters.
That's all that matters. We win.
The women's teams. That's just the women's teams.
I've seen the England women's actually, because they were down my way, and I was on a school trip to go watch the England women's cricket team. They're very nice people as well. But I better hop off because I've got loads of polishing to do because I have a band event tomorrow. So
no worries.
Lots of kits to prep, but big up to all of you. Thank you.
Anytime.
Thanks for having me on.
Catch ya. You have a great one. See ya.
And you guys.
Have a great one.
So guys, to be honest, what I was saying, Kenny Ken before is, our transfer windows have always been a bit up and under, right? And Gracie was saying it's probably going to be exactly the same. The tactic I was discussing was the tactic that they use in business called delay and confuse. Delay and confuse, delay and confuse. And I've seen delay and confuse in all our transfer windows. Because I've been confused, and fuck, have we delayed it? And Scotty probably knows the same thing. My scare was that, are we seeing the same shit again? Now, Gracie come out and she said, yep, you got the same people in. You got Vinay, you got Edu, you got the same thing. But this was happening even before them, to be honest, right? Delay and confuse, delay and confuse. I'm wondering, do you think we're going to see the same shit in this transfer window where it's all fucking last minute and it's last ditch and none of it's planned and none of the players that we get in are going to have enough time to gel?
Yeah, it's never.
Everyone thinks the same thing.
Because simple reasons that, whatever no one's happy. Say we bought players in June, July, and then we have a few adverse results because the season starts a week earlier because of the World Cup. So say you know, we get horrendous fixtures,
We will.
and you know, we get to the 1st of September, and we well, let's face it, we've only got about 3 points out of 12. You know, we could see the same situation we saw in the 2011-2012 season. We had, you know, more signings than we'll ever seen. You know, what I call panic buys, of which, ironically, Per Mertesacker and Arteta actually two of those panic buys. Per Mertesacker from Raymond and Arteta from Everton. So
Everton reject. Per Mertesacker was decent, but Everton reject. But anyway,
yeah. So it's actually ironic that the two members of our transfer committee could be, you know, negotiating business right to the 11th hour. So there's no doubt about that. You know, when it was, in my opinion, it semi became obvious that we had a good chance to get the top 4. Oh, it was all about, Arteta's going to get the war chest. He's going to get this and that.
Always this
all
war
gone
chest.
quiet now, isn't it?
Yes.
Because what's happening now is that Monday is going to be a week where we're going to have the opportunity. We're going to be invited to renew our season tickets. So I can imagine because that's going to be me. I'm going to be renewing my season ticket because of a love for the football club and the fact that I
loyalty.
Look forward to the games. A lot of people, wise people, said just stay away, mate. It's not good for your health. They let you down all the time.
No, look, you love the club. No, you love the club, Kenny Ken. Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
But you know, but the situation, you know, is that, you know, am I going to see transfer activity next week? Probably not. I think what Arsenal are going to do, they're going to use the whole 3 months, 12 weeks in terms of negotiations. I prefer it if we had all their signings in place by August, beginning of August. But that's
5
not
weeks.
going to happen.
Yeah.
I don't see that happening. What will happen is that we are going to, you know, do it at the 11th hour, and a lot of them are going to be panic buys, depending on results. And then we're going to be lied to and said, oh, you know, that's the sort of kind of players we want all season. Because at the end of the day, whether we like it or not, and obviously we want to sort of be in a situation we were when we were dominating, where the biggest elephant in the room wasn't Tottenham Hotspur, but the biggest elephant in the room is Tottenham Hotspur, because of the fact that it's nothing to do about them being our rivals geographically and historically. They're our rivals on the pitch, in terms of like the players we can get. If a player now has a chance, if we look at a player and we've done all the groundwork and Spurs going for them, they're going to get them because of Conte. They've got Champions League football. So we're going to have to do our business pretty quickly. And we have to, as good as pay over the odds for the players, and as good as promise them first team football. Yeah. Because that's a situation where you have to ask yourself a question: how many more years can we afford to be without Champions League football? I don't know how long we can keep this up. You know,
because they're making money. So to the Cronkies, it can go forever.
Yeah,
there's 450
450 million
right? So every season. I look at Man City and Chelsea, and I look at the situations where I think Chelsea are in the black rather than the red when a Barry Sport win. Man City are going to be in the black, and the reason why they're in the black is because they haven't got the history and traditions of Arsenal, but because they're doing it on the pitch and they're successful, this is where all the invitations comes for them to do, you know, their commercial tours, i.e. places like your country, Australia. You know, Man City always have there. Chelsea will be there soon, I'm sure. You know, all these invitations, you know, for Arsenal and all these teams. You've got a better chance of, like I said, making yourself a more valuable, more marketable team if you're a successful club on the pitch, i.e. winning league titles and trophies. And I think that Man City and Chelsea are going to steal the march. It's only going to come to a matter of time where the Arsenal name isn't going to be enough for us to make that money. That we have to have some sort of, if not Champions League participation, and some sort of genuine success, i.e. winning the league again.
Won't be marketable. We're not going to be like marketable.
Where we win a trophy every year, and who knows, we get a run in the Champions League, because we can't keep this up. Man United are going to find out the hard way that even though traditionally the three of us are never going to be, how do I say it, never going to be trumped by these clubs. But when it comes to the money they're getting in, reputation doesn't always make your clubs cash rich. Trophies. People at the end of the day want now. You've got to think about in London itself. You don't want to, there are going to be people who, because we get wall-to-wall football, they're not exactly going to support their local club. People abroad in Australia are not exactly going to be Arsenal fans.
No.
They're going to be part of this and support a successful team at the moment. So we're risking losing out on a generation of diehard fans in order to prop us up commercially. And you don't get success.
That's a fact. That's a fact. And to be honest with the way Arsenal are going at the moment, to me it feels as if it's going to be the exact same. It's not changing. The names that I called out in regards to our signings, I think every one of us could agree they're all doable. And they're all doable within 5 weeks. I reckon 5 to 6 weeks we can get these players, all of them in. I don't see it happening, and I don't think that the ambition is there from Arsenal anymore. I think the ambition now is to make money, and that is it. And if we're successful, that's another big up. And that's just what I reckon. Now, I might be wrong, but honestly, Arsenal have not proved me wrong yet. And I don't think at the moment.
Well said.
No,
well said, man.
I swear. To be honest, there's one more little question I want to ask you, Kenny Ken. I know the tickets, the memberships went up by 4%. What's that in pound? What would that cost in pound? How much more is it?
It's a very interesting situation because when if you're not in the Champions League, then what will happen is that what we've done this season is that our tickets are £200 less because we're not in the Champions League, because the Champions League games are the grade A games.
Okay.
All 3 of them are grade A games. Even when you get to past the knockout stage, they're grade A games, so they're the most expensive ticket because of the competition we're in.
Yeah.
Now the Europa League games go into category C. So say my season ticket invitation price is £1,095. Now if we're in the
Champions League.
In the Champions League, which £1,200, £1,219. So basically, what will happen is that at Arsenal you get 19 Premiership home games plus you get 7 cup credits. But last season we paid 870. Must have paid about 800 and nearly £900. And because I left a deposit because of the money they owed me for the abandoned season because of COVID. So basically, what's happened is I got basically 20 games, 19 home games, and 1 cup credit because we went in Europe. So basically, that means there's a gap. It all depends on how well we do in the cup. Like Tottenham and Chelsea don't have that sort of luxury. Their season tickets are only for the league, and the fans have got to pay extra for cup games like League Cup, European competition, and the FA Cup. All I say to a lot of Arsenal fans, just remember one thing: when you say we're the most expensive ticket prices, we're not.
What you're getting for your money?
Because what we're getting for the money is actually quality. Because the reason why the prices look like they're the most expensive, because part of that price is the extra cup credits where we get 7.
Yeah.
Now, the reason why Spurs and Chelsea season ticket prices look significantly less is because they only have the league games. They have to pay extra for the cup games. So a lot of Arsenal fans, when they talk about
costs,
how can you put up paying the most expensive prices? Unless someone's got a membership, they can discount that. But it's a good story anyway. Why getting away? Why does the truth get away with a good story? Get fashion with a stick. Let's play along. But in essence, we're actually not.
Yeah, we actually sounds better. Actually, we don't sound too bad. We don't sound too fucking bad. After
we actually have it on a fair basis. Another thing as well, we have our red memberships and silver memberships are direct debits, and we have fans have chance of getting to every home game they want, unless they book early. The silver memberships obviously are just the membership below mine, but they could have a chance. A lot of times silver members do get chances sometimes to go FA Cup semi-finals or cup finals. Depends on the supply and demand.
Yeah, depends what's available. Yeah,
exactly. But it's not. We don't treat our fans that badly. I mean, the food's disgusting and it's expensive as well. I mean, I've seen probably more. I've seen hot dogs look. Look. I've seen chickens look whiter than hot dogs at Arsenal. You know what I mean? You can tell they're not cooked properly. But and it's too expensive. That burger. I mean, hamburger and chips is about a tenner.
$22. That's 20. That's about $20 Australian.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
And people buy it 'cause they're hungry.
Oh, fuck that. I'd starve. Fuck that. Guys, to be honest, look, I think we've covered everything that I could possibly think of so far. We covered the season that was, the season that will be, our transfers, everything under the sun. And honestly, I'd like to thank Scott. I'd like to thank Gracie for giving us the time. I'd really like to thank Kenny Ken. You guys have been...
I enjoyed it. I have to admit, it's been a good laugh. Like, I still think the best one we've done was one with who's the guy from the Tottenham fan and from
Marty.
Marty. Yeah.
Marty. It was the reason why I enjoyed that very much is because all I heard was a strong. I heard obviously your accents are more kind of like working class Sydney accents, Sydney sider accents, and Marty's was like a very like. It was like kind of Australian accents that I used to see when I used to, watch your rugby players and your cricketers. And I thought, wow, that's just... But then again,
Marty's high class, Kenny.
When he told me he was born in Epping Forest, I thought, I got him. He had a Cockney accent when he first moved here. He was an Englishman. I thought, right. And then, so when he came out with that, I'm a quintessential Australian. Of course he is. I don't blame him. Australia's a lovely country. But I thought, let's have some fun. Because I knew Spurs were going to get in the top four. I thought, let me get me revenge in before it happens. And so I thought, right, this is a Cockney reject. Gone to Australia. And, let's have it. Because, he remembers EastEnders and all those programs. So I thought, yeah. But it was a good sport. It was a good laugh.
Oh, he's a good guy.
Been good fun.
He's good people.
I enjoy, Scott as well. I speak to you a few times on Twitter as well. So that is a relationship that should be continuing. But let's face it, we are going to enjoy the Champions League tonight.
Oh yeah,
you've got the European Nations League, and plus we've got the World Cup qualifiers. There's loads of football to watch.
Yeah, and it's not Arsenal football, so it's going to be decent.
Of course, yeah, and enjoyable.
Yeah. Oh, guys, look.
Come on, Real Madrid. Hala Madrid.
Oh, he wants Madrid. Oh, my God. Liverpool fans hate us. But look, guys, from the Aussie Gooner to everyone on this panel, for everyone that's been watching, thank you for tuning into this yarn. There's going to be a couple more, hopefully, in the future. And thank you to my panelists. And, guys, it's Uru for now, guys. Uru.
See you guys soon.
See ya.